Hi guys, today I want to talk about crackheads. I've seen a Hunter Biden video, the crackhead, very addicted, and I just want to talk about addiction. I think it is very important to talk about addiction and the concept of addiction. I feel like, bro, I've been addicted. Like, when people talk about addiction, they talk about like alcohol, and type of drugs, or maybe gambling, but like people never mention like small addictions. Addiction to sugar, addiction to gooning like me, addiction to, I don't know, being a perp. But that type of addiction, nobody talks about that type of addiction. Addiction to being, very skinny, addiction, dysmorphia. Is it addiction? Honestly, I don't know. But some type of addiction. And I feel like people are dismissive about that because there's bigger problems, when there's like, when you say, oh, it could be better, look at those African kids, like your life could be worse. That type of addiction. People are very dismissive about these small addictions that builds up and turn to something worse that it actually is, you know what I mean? So I just want to talk about that. I never knew about Hunter Biden because I'm not from America, but I've seen some leaks, bro. I'm a gooner, obviously. I've seen some leaks. I was like, damn, this shit look interesting. I never seen everything, but I heard of it. He was low-key a crackhead hitting the back shots from like strip clubs. I don't know, bro. Y'all need to search for themselves, bro. It took a while. I'm not gonna give you the lead, bro. But look, I have so few timestamps that I want to share, which is alcohol. I want to play this
quiet
part.
Desperation, not quiet, very loud
I'm gonna speed it up.
desperation.
Fuck it.
But even in that, found space in their hearts for empathy and kindness. And I've met.
So this part, he's talking about addiction and how people treat him and how very good people can turn very bad.
Some of the most awful, predatory people that I've ever experienced in my life.
So you feel that the thralls of addiction do oftentimes swallow up very genuine, earnest people, but at the same time, that underbelly is home to a specific breed of evil?
One of the things that I've realized is that addiction is one of the most universal conditions. I don't know many people that have not been impacted by it in some way, whether it's addiction to drugs or addiction to behaviors. They have the same dilatory effect on not just you, but more importantly, on your immediate community, your family, and then it just spirals outward. And I don't know anybody that hasn't been impacted by drugs and alcohol in a really significant way, or at least a way in which it's created trauma in their own personal lives and the lives of those that they really love. And so while it's universal, it's something that we rarely talk about. And it's kind of the way.
So that's what I want to touch upon. That's what I said. I feel like a lot of people don't mention being addictive as something that is bigger than just drugs and alcohol. Being at least aware of your addiction is a big step already, Some people don't even know their addiction to cigarettes and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's fucking cool being a vape. I do vape sometimes too. Nah, I never touch vape. I do some little bit weed. No, not a lot. I'd rather bake weed because yeah, don't do those stuff, bro. You should always be aware to what you do because I think people don't realize it's not a big problem you, I don't know, eat a lot of sugar and you got addictive. It's what comes after, like your body, when it's very addicted, it gets really absent when it's not there. That's the problem with addiction. The addiction is not you doing a lot because you can control it, right? But if it's not there, you will do a lot worse stuff to overcome the addiction, you know what I mean? That's how you get into drugs and stuff like that, the harsher addictive alcohol and drugs like that, right? If I can't get enough of something that I was addicted to, I will supplement it with something else that helps me ease into it, right? And that's how addiction can be worse and worse. So that's my point. And next point is him being a crackhead.
Which we probably become
Utilized context to it.
well, maybe, I don't know. Because it depends upon what media you're talking about. Because what is the media? I think it was just an added bonus for them that they could say crack addict and everybody would go, oh my God, he's a monster. So I think for those that wanted to use it as bludgeon, it's easier.
So what he was talking about how media use crack addiction as something as a headline, and that gives me a really cool point because if you say, oh, he's addicted to gaming, you don't take it as something like crazy, like you say, oh, he a fucking loser, which he is probably, but it's not about you saying he's addicted to gaming. It's obviously different levels, but the amount of shame you get for being a crack addict. That's why you see a lot of Americans being a crack addict and people throw shit at them. When you look at, I would say better developed countries like Finland and Swedish, those the happiest countries, right? Even though it's boring and shit apparently, but they see as addiction as a very big problem, and they try to treat people with as they're humans, you know, like they need help, they get into addiction. The thing about addiction, from what you will see from a lot of stats, addiction, it doesn't matter who, but most of the time it's the most hardworking work people. So addiction, the graph of addiction becomes when there's a wealth disparity. So the lowest income are more likely to get more into drugs and addiction, right? So, oh, what am I even yapping about? I forgot. But like, my point is, we treat addiction as something, oh, he's a monster, especially when it comes to drugs. That's what I mean. So be nice to other people, try to help them, even though it's very hard. But it is definitely working.
When you slap the word crack addict onto it, it makes me a lot easier target for the Don Juniors of the world, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world. Just because
this part is how he get into addiction.
Something that anyone or everyone would be able to fully comprehend and have empathy for. We're lacking empathy across the board, not just for Hunter Biden. I guess I was a little bit surprised in terms of a lot of people in the press, whether it was in the New York Times or the New York Post, kind of dismissed addiction as somehow unique to my family, or without taking into account what they were doing to other people that were looking to get clean and sober. One of the things about getting clean and sober, at least I found, I don't know what your experience in your life or with your friends or others, is one of the things that keeps us in the cycle of addiction is our guilt and our shame. Is the lies we tell ourselves.
Oh my God, this crackhead is crazy.
And you get sober. And what ends up happening is you still hold on to these secrets. Like, I smoke crack. I was a crack smoker. They know that I did cocaine, or they know that I was drinking, but they don't know that I was also an inveterate drug user. And so you keep that secret, and the guilt kind of boils up.
But
the
he's
only place that you can talk about it is in rooms full of virtual strangers, which is really helpful. It doesn't release you from that awful feeling that I'm about to be found out, and that anxiety. And so then you get triggered, and your brain tells you that.
He really makes a good point. A lot of people that don't want to get help of addiction, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of them, or most of them, have that at least hold of like, don't tell them, you're ashamed. That's why Scandinavian fight for addiction as like, oh, you're good, bro. You're human as me. You're just a little bit off, you know. That's how I'm feeling about LGBT community. Like, you're one of me, bro. You're just really different, you know. I'm not trying to help the LGBT community. I'm not saying that. Please don't get to me. But I'm saying about addiction, right? Like addiction, they stand it different. Like there's like no shame towards that. Like there's actually no shame. I don't even know how to describe it, but you know what I mean? People are just like not scared to open up to the addiction and to get help, compared to USA where people laugh at them, you know, in the street. Like you literally see the homeless people cannot sleep anywhere. Y'all building some like spiky shit on under like the bridge. Like what the hell?
The only thing that it's learned how to do is that you need to save yourself, and the fastest way to save yourself is a drink or a drug. So you get caught in this loop. And the favor that they did for me is I don't have any more secrets. No. Not everything that's been said about
this is funny.
True,
this is gonna be funny.
But there are the things that most people would be very embarrassed about. I've been very open about. I spent more time on my hands and knees, picking through rugs, smoking anything that even remotely resembled crack cocaine. I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone, and so I don't get triggered in the same way. But
that is funny. There's also a one clip how he talks about crack and cocaine.
Anyway,
You know what I mean? Like they don't know how similar the chemical compounds are.
Well, the only difference between crack cocaine and cocaine is sodium bicarbonate and water and heat. Literally, that's it.
This is like Oppenheimer creating a bomb. Like I don't know what to tell you. This is crazy.
You can go to your
on God,
convenience store.
on God, I never know you could.
Make...
On God, before this interview, I didn't know you could make crack cocaine, but now okay, I want to try it. I don't. Man, one day.
How to make crack cocaine, but it literally is a mayonnaise jar of cocaine and baking soda.
How different is the experience?
Oh, it's vastly different. That's how powerful crack cocaine is. Does crack cocaine make you act any differently? No. Is it safer than alcohol? Probably. People think of crack as being dirty. It's the exact opposite. When you make...
That's it. That's it for the vid. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I love y'all. I'm gonna buy a camera. So yeah. Stay tuned for more gooning, autistic shit. Oh no, bro. I don't even know what I do. The guy told me I'm gonna reach $20. So hopefully in 59 months we get $20, guys. Otherwise, peace.
When I put the D inside her, I put her in trend. And I smell rich. I